Warning, this video contains strong language and offensive content. If you like those things, cool. But if you're a bitch ass nigga and you don't like those things, you might not like this video. But for the ones that do, enjoy this video.
It's Perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the first episode of Watchmen, the 2019 TV series. This is, the sequel, I guess you could call it that, to the movie that came out back in 2008, or was it 2009? But anyways, I'm going to do my best to get through this, but before I get into this review, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and also follow me on Twitter at PerpMinded420. Let's get right into it. So this episode starts off very with this short little movie, I guess, and it gives you a lot of clues on what direction this episode's going to go in. It mentions the sheriff, and I'll get into that later on into this review, but I really want to give a shout out to the people that created this show, because they showed off a controversial event that happened in this country, which was the Tulsa riots, Black Wall Street, where you had a lot of black businesses striving throughout this time, but then getting bombed. And this was a very, very crazy moment in this country's history. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that this happened, or it doesn't really get talked about a lot in our history books, as far as I know. And I think this is something you should definitely go check this out and do your research on, because this was a very, very crazy moment, like I said, in our country, and it's very important for what's going on now. Well, pretty much you see in this scene this family escaping, and then we jump back into modern times, which I wonder how that's going to tie in with everything within this season, or it's going to be something that gets explained down the line. So we are in modern times now. We see this white dude get pulled over. He's bumping Future, which I find hilarious, and you notice that the cops are covering their faces to protect their identities, because there's this group called the 7th Cavalry, which I'll explain throughout this review, that they're looked at as this white supremacist group. But before I get into that, we come to this traffic stop, and the cop notices that he has a Rorschach mask, so he tries to call out for backup, but they're not letting him release his weapon, which I feel like that's it's going to be like in this country, where we're going to have cops that can't access, they have to ask for permission to use their firearm. But it's too late for this guy. He gets lit the fuck up, and I'm like, damn, this is how we're going to start it. But the officer ends up surviving, which was pretty crazy considering how many times he got hit. And we get introduced to the sheriff, and I'm guessing this is like his lieutenant or his second in charge in command. And he's explaining how, we haven't had an issue like this in 3 years. Why would they want to start a war with us? And it's crazy how, they go to, the officer's wife's house, his house, to tell his wife what went on, and to protect her and everybody, they have to kind of mess around with the story a little bit, which I find really interesting, because I guess they don't want to have people start worrying, so I guess they have to lie about certain things. But then we get to Regina King's character. She plays his character, Angela, and I find it kind of odd right off the bat that she has white children. I have a theory on that. Maybe they're adopted, and these are children from, people that were in the 7th Cavalry that got their children taken away. Maybe that's a reach, but then there's this weird storm of raining squid really weird stuff, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it, every moment of it. And you meet Angela's husband, which he kind of gives me this beta kind of vibe. I don't know. I could just be completely off on that, or he just doesn't seem like he's in the know of everything. That could just be the case. And we also get to see Angela's little lair where she just dresses up and gets into costume. And we meet the guy that is in this wheelchair, which I feel like he has a connection to what went on in the Tulsa riots. I think he has a connection to that. I could be wrong. So they start playing this video of who may be the leader of the 7th Cavalry, and he's talking about how time's up. They have this big plan coming up. Who knows what that plan is, but the chief wastes no time because he realized one of their own got killed, so now it's pretty much an all-out war on each side. Doesn't matter. Regina King even yokes up one of these dudes and puts him in the trunk, and they interrogate him. And the way they interrogate people in this is really crazy. Like it's very psychological, and Regina King's character's way is more physical, like beating the shit out of you. And they get their information what they need on where one of the hideouts are. So they pull up to one of the hideouts, and they ended up like getting him this huge ass in a little gunfight. These dudes had a huge ass minigun just tearing through these cows, and it's bloody as hell. This show is going to be very graphic. They're not able to capture anybody, but couple of the guys from the 7th Cavalry try to hop in this plane and take off. They're able to take it down before they're able to take off. So this thing is really serious, and I'm curious to see where this goes. And we get introduced to Jeremy Irons' character. Not too sure what role he's going to play, but based off of what I saw in the previews, that he might be a villain. He might just be the puppet master pulling all the strings, the Wizard of Oz. Who knows? We're just going to have to wait and see. Then we get this nice little touching scene with Regina King and the sheriff and just the whole family all together, and he's singing to everybody. And this is never a good sign in television. Whenever a character gets this much shine, you already know what's coming next. So they kind of just talk things over after dinner and whatnot, and this is pretty much the last time Regina King's character is going to see the sheriff. And the sheriff goes off back home, gets a call, but I'm drawing a blank on where he was supposed to go. But he puts on his uniform and everything, drives off. His tires get popped in the middle of the road, and all you see is this light, and he's pretty much taken away. You don't see him get taken away, but obviously he gets taken away. Regina King's character Angela is sitting there getting busy with her husband and gets interrupted by a call saying from the dude in the wheelchair saying, is this your father? And now it's confirmed that the sheriff and Angela are related, but probably probably has something to do with adoption. I don't know, but I like this episode. Very solid. I like where this is going. They're not telling us too much and just leaving it up for speculation. So, but I'm definitely into this series. I can't wait to see more. But until the next episode, I will check y'all out later. Peace.